April 8th, 2021, Budapest, Hungary. I've been staying in a homeless shelter for days due to my own decision based on the news in the television. And also mostly because it was quite cold outside, and catching a cold is not a good strategy in a pandemic. I would like to address the United Nations regarding a few parts that I have thought during these days. In the television of the government, we heard that Japan is preparing for the fourth wave of the pandemic. But regardless of this, Viktor Orban said that people can go out during later hours for shopping, and gradually he would lift the limitations, and right the next day the death toll of the pandemic has risen higher than the level a week before. There's been no alert regarding the weather. It was very windy. I think it was also not safe to go outside, but nobody alerted regarding that either. Also, we had snow quite until this morning. Despite there's bugs disinfection in homeless shelter today for cockroaches and bed bugs, and it's quite a chaos regarding documentation. I am still not registered in the address in Kochi Street, and they moved me to a different room yesterday, but I don't have keys to the wardrobe, and therefore I'm carrying my things in the street instead of leaving them there. Due to this chaos, I have not been able to effectively look for a job either. There are a few job advertisements available in the office. Well, they look strange to me. On the conditions it's listed, for example, it's a registered work, very strange. It may be due to the European Union rules, but I think it's much tougher normally, so it's quite unclear who are allowed to work right now in Hungary. So since I am addressing this message to the United Nations, I would like to recommend that first and foremost, the most important membership of this country is the UN membership. And therefore, my recommendation is that first of all we start to pay a membership fee to the United Nations. I don't have any information on what sort of contribution any country is paying to the United Nations for that. For making this country a more normal place, this would be a priority. I also would like that our army would be also recognizable as a member of the United Nations. For example, the heads could be painted to the UN light blue color, but this would require the permission of the United Nations. Regarding the pandemic, by today, just 1 second, I will check if the video is still on. Yes, it is. The continuing on the pandemic. Right now, I am convinced that the pandemic is caused by the basic reasons of this very low level of pensions paid in Hungary. This level of the pensions does not allow elderly people to pay both their medications and food. This is right now kind of a humanitarian problem. It also proves that I'm not wrong, that no matter I spoke on the internet that there's too little food in the homeless shelter, nobody has come to the shelter to donate any food. As you can hear in the video as well, right now personal cars are passing by, so people do have the money to support themselves, but they have never thought of coming to support us with any food. The other problem that has caused the pandemic must be the debt of the hospitals in Hungary that has been carried on for many years now. It is unclear to me how these hospitals are still able to operate. The homeless hospital is planned to close by the government. Hopefully they will not close it. Obviously there are quite a lot of homeless people right now, and due to the lack of providing monetary aid to the ordinary citizens, it is expected that there will be more homeless people. The government television says things such as the mood to take the vaccine is increasing. I think this is very sad that it has to be made more popular due to the rule that it was mandatory to register for the vaccine, and at the same time requiring people to submit their opinion on whether the limitations should be lifted or not. So people's time used on the internet was distracted, and I think it is the government who caused this delay. There's been windy weather since at least March 15th. This must have caused that people might have caught a cold. There's been no alert regarding this either. It is quite cold right now as well. Even though it is April, then another important information that I read in the library of the homeless shelter, according to a source in a book, in 2011 there used to be self-government allowance, and in the research it is quoted some homeless people were also supporting themselves by begging. This has been prohibited by the government, and it is right now a police issue. So these two sources are unavailable for the homeless people. This also contributes to the pandemic. The institute the homeless shelter where I'm staying is like way too many things that would make it easier for us to survive there. I made quite a long list. No matter that they are informed of what's coming, and obviously based on my experience, workers there or the people who work there rather support politically the government than the Serb government still do not support us in the following things. It is impossible to change money. For example, I had banknotes, but there is a vending machine for coffee. I was unable to use it because they were not able to change the money for coins. And then it is not possible to pay the key money apart from a few days. So I should be going to the bank to make a money transfer, and that requires me to leave the building. They refused to give me the Krishna donation the other day because I think that different workers or different employees think different about what should be given to whom. There is a basic problem with the employees understanding the Hungarian language, so it is unclear who is in fact employed and from what country. The cleaning company itself is breaking rules. They are rude. They also don't understand Hungarian properly. Rules of operating a shelter such as this is not understood by the employees themselves. I would like to emphasize here that not all of the employees, but some of the employees are unable to understand, or they just simply break them. I specifically saw one of them to be rude with the policeman, so I think they're incapable to cooperate with the authority. There are a few posters of the Serb government how we should behave during the pandemic, such as we should wash our hands with soap, but they fail to provide soap. And even though they're aware of the pandemic situation, rules that must have been established years before are not changed. They're unable to think in the sense of urgency. Some of the employees are unable to arrange appointments. They agree on an appointment with me, and then later they even though they make me wait and I wait for them, and they act as if the appointment had been cancelled, and they do not inform me of the cancellation, so they just take my time, and they don't seem to be trying to support me in my basic tasks, which are First of all, finding a job and trying to save up some money for enabling myself to move out to an apartment or somewhere else. The balcony on the 12th floor was open at night a week ago. Basic personal safety is lacking in the shelter and basically in the country. Therefore, I also would like to recommend that the Pope would not visit Hungary, even though it is promised in a time later in the year. So I repeat, I think the Pope should not come to Hungary. I really would like to see him, but if Hungarian citizens are not protected, how would they be able to protect him? There are here quite a few things I could continue with reading them. I will try later. It's quite cold outside here. I decided to take the video here because it's much safer. I think a pigeon was just hit by a car right now. There's just one more sentence I would like to add here. And one more thing is that in 2019 I voted for the opposition in Budapest. And I still support who is the mayor right now. I would like to quote what was in his program, basic points: health, homes, and social tasks. Elections are coming up next year in Hungary. I'm afraid that the current parties who are maybe afraid that they may lose the elections next year are trying to actually trying to use the pandemic as an argument against him next year. We all know that he was elected in October 2019, and the pandemic started in December. I really hope that this message will remain, and it will reach the United Nations. That hopefully they see what is happening in Hungary, and that that is the reason why I am speaking in English, so that it will be registered there as well. I also would like to run for the presidency of the Republic of Hungary next year, and I would like to establish an office for the UN in the current building for the president. I think it's first of all too large for that right now, and second of all, there is no headquarters of there is no proper office of the United Nations in Hungary, and I can surely share that office with them.